What's up, guys? If you were gonna ask me what I wanted the water to look like on the way down here, this is the picture I would have drawn in my head. Absolutely beautiful conditions. It's getting very warm outside, which is great. It's exactly what I want. Hopefully the fish are active. Let's get some bait straight in the water. That's bait. Oh, look at all that blood. I'm gonna hold this thing vertically, upside down, as long as I can, because I do not want a drop of that blood to go to waste. There we go. If you guys haven't seen one of these on one of my previous videos, it's an electronic bite alarm. So the line sits in a wheel, and as the line runs over the wheel, it pings out a signal for us to hear that a fish has taken the bait. 2 baits out, 1 downstream, 1 upstream. When we caught the bait for today with our cast net, they were everywhere. So even bad throws were just hauling in tons of fish. Yep. So I'm hoping this warmer weather that has the bait so active has the predators active as well. I just saw something pop the top of the water. Wasn't a big fish, but it was some kind of predator. Probably a bass or a large sunfish of some other kind. But I think we could be in business today. Really? Wow. Okay. I understand that the Buffalo Bayou Partnership, which I'm pretty sure those guys were from, has a job to do and they have a lot of ground to cover, but they're gonna whip around one of these corners and they're going to kill somebody in a kayak. They need to slow the down. It's a mullet.
What are you fishing for?
Alligator gar.
Alligator?
Gar. Alligator gar. Not alligators. Now I want you to imagine those idiots in the airboat whipping around the corner and broadsiding that child in his kayak. They need to slow down. They have absolutely no clue that they're not gonna run into somebody. Blows my mind. Houston, get your people under control. Look, here's my problem. I don't care about what I'm doing. These guys going back and forth on the boat, number one, I don't think it's actually gonna scare some of the fish down here. Number two, even if it did, big deal. What bothers me is that little boy that we just saw with his dad paddling by on their kayak. Imagine those morons had whipped around the corner in that huge airboat going as fast as they were and ran right into them. It would have killed them both. Definitely would have killed that little kid, for sure. You know, they don't know what's around the corner. They don't. And a boat doesn't have a set of brakes like your car does. They can't bring that amount of weight to a stop on the water the way you can a car on the road. And even that is, that's why you don't drive fast in neighborhoods, because you can't predict if you can stop in time. With the water, you cannot stop a boat. if you whip around the corner and you find out, oh my God, turns out there's, you know, a 10-year-old and his dad in a kayak in front of us, you're going to kill someone. Like I said before, I'm sure these guys have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of ground to cover. That nonsense is going to get someone killed, which is vastly more important than whatever those guys are doing today. You know, the city has kayak launches on Buffalo Bayou, on both sides of us. If they are advertising Buffalo Bayou as an area in which you can kayak or canoe, which they do, they have to make sure that the people working for the city on the bayou aren't endangering the people that they are inviting to have recreational time on the water. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. That seems like a small thing until it isn't. It's a small thing until it isn't. It takes one time. One time. Anyway, I'm gonna keep fishing. Okay, we got another run. It's going from left to right, which is a little bit, it makes me nervous because I know there's a big tree under the water right there. Hopefully this float will encourage the fish to keep up above it. It's kind of wishful thinking. If the fish wants to dive into a tree, it's going to dive into a tree. All of that is assuming this is a fish and not a turtle. Which honestly, I think the last couple of takes were turtles. Still there. It's still there. The float is under. Even though it's not moving off at the moment, the line is kind of twitching and the float is under the water. So whatever it is still has it. Okay. I think we're hooked into something heavy. Something's coming our way. It feels like a snapping turtle. Or some kind of turtle with the weight of it moving the way it is. Or it could just be that we hooked a huge log. What do we got? It's alive, whatever it is, I think. It's got to be a turtle, right? What is that? Come on, buddy. Oh my God, yep. It's a huge dragon of an animal. Come here, buddy. Whew. That is, oh my God, he's a monster. Whew, he's big. That's a big animal. Incredible. The good thing is the hook is actually right at the end of his jaw. He's not deep hooked or anything, so I can actually probably get that out quite simply. Look at that monster of an animal. Ugh. All right, let's get that hook out. We can reach it with these. This should be easy as long as I can get it on there without getting my fingers nipped off. I know, buddy, I know. There we go. Off he goes. Not a fish, but an amazing animal, a native species, and one that's very important in this ecosystem. Buffalo Bayou is actually becoming quite an important area, quite an important habitat for the restoration of this species, the alligator snapping turtle. You know, whenever you have an animal like this, alligator gar are very similar in the sense that they take a long time to grow and therefore a long time to reproduce. You know, these animals have to be, comparatively speaking, very old to reproduce. So when you remove one from the wild, it takes an enormous amount of time for an individual to grow to the point that it can replace that animal. You know, you take a rabbit out of the wild and more rabbits, you know, seem to be popping out of hats, but snapping turtles, alligator gar, things like that, takes a long time. So Buffalo Bayou is actually a critical part of the ecosystem in which these animals are recovering, because their populations were quite low at one point. And like a lot of animals that are misunderstood and considered ugly and undesirable, they're actually very important. They fill an important niche in this environment. They're an important predator. They belong here, and it's important that they stay here. I got a comment the other day where somebody was like, oh yeah, time to cook up that turtle. I was like, no. Why? No. So, beautiful animal. Unfortunately, we didn't get any fish. We are out of time, but still, cool thing to see. I certainly hope that the guys driving that boat slow down. I know I keep going on and on about that, but it's only a matter of time unless they change. So more is coming, guys. Stay tuned. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next. Check out the link to the Patreon page also in the description. WaterLand fishing optics, very important. Fishing sunglasses, I don't leave home without them. You can get 15% off when you check out from their store by using my code WILDLIFE right here. The website to find these is in the description, so open that up. Go over to WaterLand Fishing Optics, get yourself a good pair of sunglasses. All right, guys, more is coming. Stay tuned. Until it's here, I will see you guys later.